Hey guys, King of Charms here to be a judge, a jury, and your analyst, and today I bring to you a freaking Chandelure. Oh my god, this hurts so much. I lost 100 points doing this because Chandelure isn't as awesome as I thought, and making it work in Master Period Classic is extremely painful. So do me a huge favor, before I even say it, if this is worth a subscription, because I literally tried Snorlax with Outrage, Snorlax with Superpower, and I switched between Gyarados with Dragon Breath and Waterfall just to bring y'all this content. So please, I appreciate it if you would. You don't have to, but I really do. But anyways, this is Chandelure for Master Period Classic. Is it the best? It's probably the spice. It's literally the spiciest, probably the spiciest pick that can actually work in this cup, because it's so squishy, and it's so squishy that it even loses against Togekiss in the 2-Shield. That's how squishy Chandelure is. But I hope y'all enjoy these battles and this shoutcast. But again, if you would do me a favor and subscribe, because this was extremely painful. But before we get started, it's my therapist mental health tip of the day, and you can skip this by going 2 minutes ahead of the video or going to the chapters below. But speaking of things being on fire, this is the therapist shortage. So fun fact, if you need therapy and it's really hard to find, guess what? There aren't enough therapists that actually do accept insurance. Private practice is the way to go. You can work your own hours and you make an obscenely good amount of money. But with that being said, there's also a huge shortage in general of mental health professionals. In the US in general, there are only about 530,000 psychotherapists that can do psychotherapy for a population of 330 million. That's a really bad shortage, and we can only take a certain amount on our caseload. For example, right now, I can only take a maximum of 20 clients, and 20 clients is a lot, especially dealing with severe mental illness, which is my job. Tier 3, I'm Tier 3 mental health support, so I am the highest level of mental health care at my elementary and my junior high school kids. If they have something we can't be done with a little bit of aid, I'm the one that has to take the highest, and I can only take 20 of them. And I'm telling you right now, there's a lot more than 20 that need help at the school, but I can only take 20 at a time. So that's just a huge shortage. But take a look at this article if you just want a really good idea of just how valuable my profession is and how much it's needed. And I definitely will, and this is where I'm needed the most, for sure. I love this profession, but I love doing content for y'all, but if it ever severely interfered with my work, I would definitely stop making YouTube videos. So I do a lot, having a very high stress career field and doing this. So hope y'all enjoy the battles. I hope y'all enjoy Chandelure. Without further ado, let's get started. I hope y'all enjoyed this freaking shoutcast. I tanked a lot of points to try to figure out how this works. We got Chandelure on a Metagross. So here's the thing. The reason I like Chandelure lead is because it can actually beats Metagross, it beats Excadrill, it also beats Mamoswine. But fun fact, against a Togekiss, Togekiss can actually beat you if you eat an Ancient Power. So Ancient Power does like 70% of your HP. And Chandelure is so freaking squishy, it's ridiculous. I also lagged to where somehow my Chandelure lost CMP against something it wasn't supposed to. So yay, go battle lag, right? Now I got Snorlax on a Togekiss. I shouldn't have switched out of Chandelure, but this is okay. So Snorlax is going to Body Slam its way to victory, as you see here, and I won't be able to actually get to another Body Slam. I send in Chandelure. My idea here is to farm this thing down, and hopefully I have something that does really well against my opponent's back row. I have to shield this Ancient Power because, like I mentioned to you, one Ancient Power does so much damage. But I have so much energy on my Chandelure now, and I'm going to fire the Shadow Ball, and we got a whole Garchomp. I have to somehow beat an entire Garchomp, and I have to beat a freaking pain. But I send in Gyarados, and I'm going to go ahead and try to Dragon Breath down. My idea here is hopefully I hopefully will be able to debuff them in Crunch here, or take a shield. And as you see here, my opponent actually eats, and I'm like, why though? thanks to them eating that, I should be able to farm down here, and I might actually get to a Shadow Ball. So despite the fact that, yeah, my opponent, and they have Psychic too, so guess what? I don't even wall them, which is great. So I'm going to farm them down. I'm going to Crunch. They should shield this one because their Gaunt Trap is nearly dead. However, I have to, well, I actually could have Flame Charge here, but I need one more Incinerate to go off. They farm me down. I have to fire off one Incinerate, and as you see, your Flame Charge should take him out. But my opponent is able to get to a move, but it doesn't really matter because all I have to do is shield this, and then I'm going to ball out. I'm going to ball so hard this Hanging Chandelure, this Ghost Destroyer of Worlds, and it's so damn squishy. Can you hear the pain in my voice? That's literally how painful it was to play this thing. But you know, hey, we find dubs, you know? We get them dubs. I have 6 battles of Chandelure dubs to give you. So we won the lead. So what happens if we lose the lead? Well, guess what? This is an Electivire, and this is terrible. Electivire with Wild Charge as Shadow is going to suck. You must shield everything, or you're going to die. One Shadow Wild Charge literally does a bazillion damage here. I have to shield. I don't have a choice, and my opponent actually is able to catch Flame Charge. Flame Charge won't kill, but their Steelix is very, very thick, as you see here. And for some reason, I don't know if that's a hundo. Yeah, that's not a fully powered Steelix. My brain was like, wait a minute, that's not a hundo. That's not a full powered Steelix. I mean, were you trying to use a different mon, bro? But even if it wasn't fully powered, like, dang, dude, okay. Steelix goes down, and then I have a bazillion energy on my Chandelure. I think my opponent doesn't have a lot of things for Master Premier Classic, so that's why you saw a Shadow. I mean, I'm for it, you know. I mean, I too am an Electivire connoisseur, but dang, look at all that damage you are taking, dude. Burn it down like Seth Rollins from WWE. His Joker gimmick is amazing, by the way. For those of you that watch WWE, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But Roman Reigns needs to lose his WWE title stat, or at least soon, because I'm so tired. As good as the Bloodline is, I'm tired of the Bloodline. My opponent wild charges, and we get an Excadrill, and I'm like, wow, this one's actually pretty high C. This one's actually pretty up there, so, interesting. The only thing that sucks about them is that I'm actually using an Outrage, so I tried Outrage, I tried Waterfall Dragonite, and it just didn't work. So I switched back to Superpower. This was me experimenting with Outrage because I was like, okay, you know what, and I ended up going with Dragon Breath because Dragon Breath, Superpower, and Body Slams are enough. As you see here, if I had Superpower, I literally would have beaten this poor Excadrill to oblivion. But it doesn't really matter anyways because it's so hurt. But yeah, I tried a few things to see if make things work, and ultimately I ended up just going with Superpower. I mean, I ended up going with Superpower. It helps you with the extra skill matchups, and Chandelure is so squishy anyways that it's okay. 3 Body Slams will take out the Excadrill. All I do is Dragon Breath down. Even if this wild charge will KO my Gyarados, it's going to die. Believe it or not. But I will violate you in every corner of your electric antenna. And I don't care if you have to take it, Snorlax. Take it like a champion. Even though you get electrocuted, even though you get zapped, even though you get that little buzz, guess what? I still get the dub. Next, we got Chandelure onto Togekiss. And this is a perfect example of what I mean by Togekiss actually doesn't really outrender in this match. As you see, literally, you get to one move, and Chandelure is almost at half HP, bro. This thing is so damn squishy. It's so squishy. You win the 2 shields against Excadrill, but other than that, if you look over here, I'm going to have to expend a shield because that's a whole lot. All the charms are doing a lot of damage over time, even when resisted. Now I have to shield this Ancient Power, otherwise I'm going to go down. My opponent sends in a Snorlax. I'm going to fire a Flame Charge. I'm already +1, so mine as well. And then after this, all I'm going to do is I'm going to send in my own Snorlax to mirror. Flame Charge goes off, does a decent amount of damage, and I don't send in Snorlax, I send in Gyarados, because my idea here is that I'm going to Crunch, and my opponent lags before they fire their move. I'm like, what? Okay. So they go off with a Body Slam. They should have 2 at this point though, but it's okay. I'm gonna fire Aqua Tail just so that I could have debuffed them with Crunch, but I want to save all this extra energy because my plan is to Dragon Breath them down. So Dragon Breath should go down. They might get to one more move, but they don't because of that lag. Thank you, Go Battle Lag. Thank you for giving me some kind of win condition. And all I'm gonna do, yes, my Gyarados is going to Dragon Breath down this whole ass Togekiss. Dang, bro. And then we are going to double Crunch this poor Metagross. And I'm going to violate... someone really liked the aluminum alloy content. And yes, I'm going to violate every corner of this shiny aluminum alloy. That perfect complexion right there. I'm going to make it a whole lot more shiny and grimy. That sounds so dang wrong, but I get what I'm talking about. And that's GG's. I love using Snorlax in Master Premier Classic. I love it so much. Next, we got Chandelure onto Dragonite. This is what you're going to lose against most of the time. This is why we have Dragon Breath and we have Snorlax with Outrage. This is what I was trying to experiment with Outrage. If your opponent calls the Outrage, though, it really sucks. And the thing about Outrage is it doesn't even outright kill. If you Outrage, it will put them in the yellow. I will shield this, believing it's a superpower. It is not a superpower. And so, I'm going to fire this Outrage, and I'm going to pray it actually works. But, yeah, I ultimately ended up with superpower. And as you see, they shield it, so I'm in danger. I'm in a whole lot of danger. Yo, dude, you called the perfect moment, and please do not superpower me. But you're probably gonna guess this is a superpower. And it's not, thankfully. I'm going to fire the second Outrage. Hopefully I can get to it. And they actually send in a Rhyperior. So funny thing was, remember I told you I was experimenting with Waterfall Gyarados and Dragon Gyarados? Guess what? Because they sent the Rhyperior against me, this is going to be hilarious. Because I switch into Gyarados and all I'm going to do is farm down this poor Rhyperior. I see Smackdown Rhyperiors coming out everywhere. So it really sucks. And then after I swapped over, I determined that Dragon Breath was actually the better move just because it gives you that extra oomph against Dragonites and other dragons, and you can farm down Togekisses, like you saw in the last battle. This crunch should go off, and then after this, I have to bank that Chandelure can try to close out this matchup. We're able to grab that last shield, however, Dragonite's going to be able to farm us down. I'm hopefully going to be able to get to a Shadow Ball. Well, I should be able to get to a Shadow Ball up a shield. My opponent fires on the wrong interval. This should get out. I will ball out. I will Hadouken. I will freaking summon the ball. Dark Hado of Doom. And there's actually Metagross in the back. Sucks for you because guess what? One Flame Charge plus the chip damage will equal death. Flame Charge goes off. All I'm going to do is just farm this poor thing down. And then that Charizard, that Dragonite's dead. I'm going to be able to get to one more Incinerate because it's energy dry. I literally ball out even though my freaking Chandelure doesn't have any cojones in between its legs. Hell, it doesn't even have legs. It's a floating Chandelure. I ball out and that's GG's. You can tell I tried a lot of experimentation to see if this can work. But in all seriousness, Chandelure is terrible for Master Premier Classic. It's extremely spicy. It is technically an anti-meta pick, but it's so hard to run it. It's so godforsakingly squishy. As you see here, I'm going to send in Snorlax, and this one time we have Outrage, and yeah, I try to keep Outrage for the longest time. Again, I ended up going back to Superpower because I needed an extra chance against those Steel typings because, yeah, Superpower goes off. I called the right shield, but they have a Snorlax of their own. This is another thing I didn't like. I didn't like in the mirror match that I had to straight body slam, and my opponent might actually be carrying Superpower. And that's actually a Shadow Snorlax. It's not a Hundo, but it's a 98, and dang, I'm kind of jelly. A Hundo Shadows or a near Hundo Shadow Snorlax is amazing for this cup. Not gonna lie. With Shadow damage, you can actually straight body slam a Metagross. Fun fact. So you could straight body slam a Metagross with the extra Shadow damage, and the extra Lick Shadow damage matters, and one Superpower will do so much damage. As you see here, the Superpower does a ton of damage, puts my poor Snorlax in the red. We are violating each other in every single corner, but you know, I'm going to send in Gyarados and try to Dragon Breath down, and it works out. Here's the problem, though. We got a Dragonite, and I have an Excadrill. So how the heck do I come up with a win condition? I do not know. I won't die to one Rock Slide, but I'm in a lot of danger here. But they eat? I was like, wait, what? Why would you eat that? So they actually end up eating the Aqua Tail. So I'm going to have to be very fancy if I want to manifest some kind of win condition here. Because I'm going to tell you, it's not looking good. It is not looking good. I'm going to fire this Aqua Tail. They're either going to shield or let this through. I'm hoping they let it through. And they don't, which makes me kind of cry because I'm like, no. I'm going to let go of Gyarados. And then my only choice here is to farm down this Excadrill. I have a sack in Snorlax. So I have a sack. So I have to ball out here and pray I get a sack. So I'm going to fire the Shadow Ball. And then I have a whole Snorlax. So I have to manifest some kind of win condition over here. And they actually don't shield, which I was like, what? Because they didn't shield, that gives me a win condition. I think they were thinking I was going to bait, but why would I bait? So all I have to do is now I just have to incinerate down my opponent. And that's game. They made a terrible mistake. I don't know if you misclicked that, but I thought they probably thought I was firing a Flame Charge. But I have Flame Charge and Shadow Ball, dude. And for our last one, this is why you don't stress about Elo. This poor veteran has tanked all the way down to the 2200s. We got Excadrill onto Chandelure. This is a matchup you want. You win the 2 shield. The problem is you go down 2 shields. That's the issue. Our opponent fires on a terrible interval in here, and this Incinerate goes through. But we have 2 shields. So in the 2 shield, you win pretty comfortably, and they send in Gyarados to catch the freaking Flame Charge. I was like, dang it, bro. Feels bacon, man. Anyways, we're gonna send in Gyarados, and I got the Gyarados mirror math, and we're just breathing all over each other's faces. The good thing is that since I did that flame charge chip damage, which did a lot more than I thought, we can manifest some kind of win addition here. Crunch goes off. I get the defense debuff, and I'm like, oh my god. Really? It happens to me? Really? At a very crucial moment. I'm gonna fire Aqua Tail, and I managed to bait a shield, which is great. I'm gonna fire the second Aqua Tail. This won't outright kill, but this plus chip damage from Dragonite will take him to the zeros. Best case scenario, they take him to the zeros. And the best case scenario actually does happen. I'm going to send in Snorlax to sponge everything this Gyarados has to offer. So Snorlax can tank Aqua Tails, it can tank Crunches just fine. I have to farm down this freaking Gyarados though, and then pray that Chandelure with a shield can take out their back row, plus Snorlax with some energy. So it's a very dicey matchup here. I'm going to lick you down and violate the Sifu. It's Sifu time, and unfortunately, it's a freaking Machamp, and my brain is like, what? That's a Machamp. So I'm going to be able to incinerate down this poor Excadrill, and because Machamp has 0 energy, this is going to be a great time, because I should just be able to Flame Charge down, and then my Snorlax is still super healthy, so I'm going to Flame Charge. My opponent has to throw Rock Slide to take me out, even if they, but, like, this damage is going to add up so much. As you see, Flame Charge are just chunking away at this poor Machamp, and I'm actually able to get to another Flame Charge. Charge on. It doesn't even matter though. This thing needed 2 cross chops to kill me because Snorlax can get to a body slam. And I hope you enjoyed the spicy Chandelure. It's the spiciest pick, and somehow it worked, and somehow it's GG's. Thank you for the battle. And that's game. I hope you all enjoyed the battles and the tanking of my elo. Chandelure is a very spicy mon. It really is. To make it work, I'm really hoping that Litwick Community Day actually gives it a move where it makes it actually pretty decent at Master Premier Classic. But you're still gonna have to wait till next season, because the reason being is because Master Premier Classic doesn't come back until next season, I believe. I don't think it's gonna come back for the rest of this season. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. You only have to survive a couple more days before Great League finally comes back in the form of the Evolution Cup, and I can't wait. But I hope you all enjoyed Chandelure. It's good. The problem is the only thing it really convincingly beats are the Steel types and maybe Mamoswine, if you don't get freaking bulldozed to death. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. That's all I have to say. But again, do me a huge favor, please like, subscribe, and contribute to YouTube algorithm. I stream on Fridays through Sundays, but like I mentioned, the next stream you'll see me do is going to be the Evolution Cup, and I'm so excited it's the Evolution Cup. So, I hope you all are having fun. There's still 2 months of this league. There's literally still like 2 months of Go Battle League left for the rest of the season, so don't stress about it. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see y'all on the next video.
That I made, all the things that I have craved, these are what I could have seen.